Hi, we're Krisha and Frank, the Insider Edition for SeymourSmokies.com, and today we are visiting one of my favorite places in the Smokies.
And it's really funny, I have grown up here, I've lived here, I have never been to the Titanic Museum.
Attraction.
Attraction.
Well, all three of those words are important.
It's the world's largest museum attraction.
We're going to find out why those three words are important when we talk to First Class Maid Jodi and take you on a tour of Titanic and learn about the special exhibit that's only here till June, and also commemorate next week's anniversary of the 109th anniversary of the sinking of the Titanic, April 14th and 15th, 1912.
Do you think I'll get to touch the water?
They make you. It's
Oh.
I'm not only do I think you'll get to do it. I mean, they'll if you try to stop, they'll grab your hand and force you to do it. Yeah.
You can find our entire full-length episode at krishaandfrank.com, along with all of our regular episodes Monday through Friday. I've never been here. I'm losing my mind already.
I know, I'm kind of excited because I've been to Titanic so many times, and it's great to see First Class Maid Jodi again. Hi, Jodi.
Hello.
I love it here. I was here on the very first day that it opened.
I know.
And I've been here many times since, and here we are. What is this, the Grand Staircase?
The Grand Staircase.
And you were just telling me that it's the actual size.
It is. We use the original blueprints from Harland & Wolff shipyards. This is exactly what it looked like on board the Titanic.
I love it.
And the amazing thing is, it was 109 years ago. So it's a beautiful April. You know, you think everything's going fine.
Yeah.
You know, it gets to be like, what, April, 12th, they start sailing. April 14th, all of a sudden.
Yes. We hit the iceberg.
Yeah.
On the night of April 14th, sink on the 15th.
Wow. But we get to go explore. We're going to go do all the things.
Guaranteed not to sink today.
Yay. Yay.
Well, let's start going. Let's go explore.
Okay, here. Ready? Bye. Oh, wait, I have to be very regal. I can't.
Yes, you just,
Right.
it's like you.
I must.
And nose in the air, neck stuck up.
Okay, Jodi, I'm already getting a little misty with what you were just telling us in this room, because we're in the music room.
The music gallery, where we honor the 8 musicians that were on the Titanic. I know most everyone has seen the movie, and just as the movie depicts, that part is pretty accurate. The lead musician releases the other musicians to get to safety, and when they walked off, he continued to play, and they each and every one went back with them.
Wow. Wallace Henry Hartley. And I noticed that the valise next to us has those initials on it, WHH.
Only 3 of the musicians' bodies were recovered. The bandmaster, Wallace Hartley, was one of them. He was found upright with his life jacket on and this leather valise strapped to his body.
Wait, you mean one just like this one?
No, this one. This one. Yeah, chills.
The history is so tangible that it's right here. It's real.
Real.
It's a real thing that happened. It's not just something that we talk about.
It's like radiating out to you.
Yeah.
This gallery,
I mean, let's be serious about this for a second, because it's called the Titanic Museum Attraction. This is a legitimate museum. There's provenance, there's curating, there's everything. You know, Mary, the owner, and her husband, he sailed to the actual Titanic in a submarine.
Yes.
He's been there. This is not just, oh, let's build a fun tourist attraction. No, let's build a museum that honors the memory of those aboard.
Every day, we tell the stories of the 2,208 passengers and crew.
It's unreal.
If we read something that I'm like, oh, that's interesting, but I've never heard that before, our historian asks the Titanic Historical Society to make sure everything is legit, because I never want to say something that's wrong.
Right. Yeah. And I noticed you have a pin on, and its significance is?
The violin. So, this was strapped to Wallace Hartley's body. When they opened it, wrapped in clothing, was his violin.
All right, now this is an amazing artifact, and it's here for a limited time because, I mentioned Mary and John a moment ago, they also have the other Titanic Museum attraction in Branson. So sometimes that gives you really, the power to get these things and share them for a few months at each location. But this is a big deal. This arrived during the pandemic in 2020.
Yes. This violin was given to Wallace Hartley by his fiancée, Mariah, about 2 years before the Titanic, he set sail. So there is a fish plate. That's a fancy word for a little metal plaque here at the base of it, and we've enlarged it here. And it says, to Wallace, on the occasion of our engagement, Mariah. Well, they didn't have enough money to get married, so they'd been saving for these 2 years so excited. Wallace just got his dream job.
Yeah.
He's the lead musician.
On the unsinkable Titanic, he's going to be going back and forth, New York, London, New York, London.
It's his gig.
It's his gig.
Yeah.
So he had even written Mariah a letter off the Titanic, mailed it in Queenstown, the last stop, saying, Mariah, the Titanic tips are great. We're finally going to have enough money to get married.
Oh. So here's Molly Brown and Mary Astor and all these people throwing dollars at him, or pounds, or whatever he gets.
And, yeah.
He's excited because he thinks this is going to be enough for us to finally get married when I get back.
He's got his life. His life is
He's
set.
got his right. And I'm sure she read it thinking, oh, I'm going to start planning when Wallace gets back. It's going to be it. Well, Mariah actually never, ever, ever gets married.
Oh.
Wallace was her one true love.
Oh, wow.
Hurts my heart. So how long is this here right now?
Well, I love to tell everyone, we've heard all this negative stuff about COVID. Well, this was supposed to go back to England at Christmas, but because of COVID, they can't come and get it.
So you got to change.
I know. So we have it till June 20th.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Yes, I know. It's like, oh, COVID. Ho, 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 ho. I will tell you, this violin, this artifact, I've been here 12 years. This is the artifact that gives me chills. Yeah. To think this was the last thing people heard.
When you talk about the story of the Titanic, you can't avoid talking about the musicians. That is, like you said, the legend begins when the music stops.
This is real. This is it's real.
It's real. Now, this violin went for auction 2013 and broke the world's record for the highest price ever paid for a Titanic artifact at $1.7 million to an anonymous bidder over the phone. Wow. Aldridge and Sons, the auctioneers, they keep us in contact with that person. And the first year we had it, the owner of the violin was amazed that we don't just stick it in a box. We tell its story. There's someone here every day telling people about awesome. Mariah and about Wallace.
So there's someone here every day making people cry.
Exactly.
Good.
Well, that's sort of, we go,
that's where they get all the water out front.
Right.
You know, when you stick your hands in the ice cold water, it's salty because it's human tears.
Yeah.
Krisha's never stuck her hand in the icy water. It just occurred to me.
No.
All right, well, we have a lot more to do here at Titanic Museum Attraction with First Class Maid Jodi.
I'm touching an iceberg, Frank. There's a real iceberg in this building. I love it. I want one in my house.
I want to do a science experiment with you. I do it with all the students that come through. So I want you to take the hand closest to the 28-degree water. On the count of 3, we're going to dip it in. We're not going to move it. We're not going to scream. We're going to dip it in, count to 3, and out. Are you ready?
All right.
All right.
1, 2, 3, dip. 1, 2, 3, out. Now this time we're going to wiggle our fingers. Not going to splash. We're just going to wiggle.
Okay. In the water.
In the water.
Okay,
you ready?
All right,
1, 2, 3, dip, wiggle, wiggle.
Oh, it's much colder that way.
Oh, wow.
And out.
So much colder that way.
And that's what I ask them. I go, okay, which way hurts the worst?
Whoa. When you wiggle, wiggle, wiggle. You're the worst.
How old are you?
You're the worst. You sploosh. Here.
So it's wiggling, and then we go, okay, you're wiggling, so why? And then we lead them down the path. Is you're wiggling, you're losing body heat faster, and it hurts worse.
That's amazing.
So that's what the passengers on the ship would have done, is they would have kicked, they would have struggled, they would have wiggled.
How could you keep from wiggling?
Right, you have to swim.
And you're panicked.
Yeah.
The other thing they ask,
I'm so cold.
They go, now wait, water freezes at 32. This is 28 and it's not frozen.
I go, salt water.
Very good, you're smart. You get an A+ for today.
Yay, Frank.
Yay.
Everybody.
And then I have to remind them not to lick their hands. I go, it's salt water, don't worry. I'm the mom of 2 boys. I know where their mind goes. Half an hour before we sank.
Okay, I mean, you're still...
I think I could probably do that one.
Yeah, but if you think of the fact that it's moving, right?
Okay.
It's moving when you do this.
15 minutes. Now remember, we didn't have rubber-bottom tennis shoes back then.
So should I take my shoes off and do it in my socks? Whoa!
And then 2 minutes before we sank.
It's gonna take me 2 minutes just to get up here. Oh my gosh. Like, I don't consider myself a weak person, but yeah.
So imagine your hands are icy and cold. This is icy and cold. Your face is now frozen. How are you going to grip this?
I'm not.
Now, what if you have a child with you?
Oh no.
Oh, here.
Don't do that to me.
Now, these photographs are from the owner of this museum. His name is John Joslin, and he put together a $6 million expedition in 1987. They were on site for 44 days and did 32 dives, and they were the first to do film footage. This is 80,000 watts of light.
Wow. Oh,
So they had
dark.
to, in 2.5 miles down in the ocean, they had to invent the cameras, the cables, the lights, everything to be able to go 2.5 miles down in the ocean. And I remember this picture on Time magazine in 1987, and I was in high school. I just dated myself. And now I work for him.
That's so cool.
It is the 109th anniversary of the sinking. She does ooze about a ton of rust a day. These are rusticles. Probably about another 10 years. They have done documentaries here recently about how she's disintegrating. For instance, you used to be able to fly over the bridge, fly as in a submersible over the bridge, and see the captain's bathtub. It has broken through, and you can no longer see it. So she is disintegrating quickly. And this is Brynjar. He's the Lego boy. He was here last year, and we took him to the schools because he talks about his autism being his X factor and encourages boys and girls, you're different, everyone's different.
Yeah.
Funny story is when it got here, he didn't have any Edwardian type Lego figures. So there were Marvel superheroes on it and Star Wars figures.
That's so cool. That's awesome. He's like, well,
Spider-Man was over there, Darth Vader was over there. So since then, Lego has given us some Edwardian type Lego people.
that's fantastic. I love that Lego's like, here's some people.
Yeah, here's some people.
Jodi, when I was a kid, I read the books about the sinking of the Titanic, you know, A Night to Remember. I remember doing it as a summer reading project book. And when I see this New York Times, it was in the book. There was a picture of it in the book. So this says to me, oh my gosh, you know, April 16th, 1912. So the Titanic had sunk the day before.
Yes.
And it was obviously gigantic news. Biggest liner plunged to the bottom, 2:20 a.m. Rescuers there too late. Oh. And this is the room where we remember everyone, not just Astor or not just the famous people.
After 12 years, still walking in here, my heart goes, huh.
Yeah, it's when you see the names, and it's like any other memorial, when you see names listed, it becomes even more real where you're, oh, this is...
Now, I realize this is your first visit, but had we come in as ticket buying public, when you arrive aboard Titanic, you're given a boarding pass, and your journey represents one of the names on the wall, and you don't know if they died or survived until you get to this room.
Wow, that's... Ooh.
And just to see all the names. And sometimes when people are in here, we'll go, we are honoring all these names that surround you right now. And one of our crew members came up with that, and I just went, oh, we're using that. I don't, just because it's all those names surrounding you. Survived is on the top, perished is on the bottom. So in the crew, you see 214 survived, 688 did not. Popular question is people go, but wait, there's some male crew members that survived. Well, remember, these lifeboats were huge. Could us women really know how to row them, how to steer them?
Their job as a crew member might have been to save the lives of their passengers.
And lifeboat drills weren't mandatory in 1912, so if you were in the right spot at the right time, one of the officers could have said, hey, you, crew member, get in this lifeboat. Yeah, so you'd have been extremely lucky.
And these are the ages, correct?
Yes. And that's first class.
And kind of, you know, looking at the difference in ages as you move down first class to third class. It's remarkable to me how many middle-aged people survived and how many third class super young people did not.
What we're finding out is the most children that didn't survive is in third class. And what we're finding out is those large families, how does mom, all the girls and the little boys get in a lifeboat and leave dad and the big boys behind?
Yeah.
How do you do that?
Yeah.
How do you explain to those children why you left dad and big brothers?
Yeah. And they did.
In the movie also, some of the other passengers were just trapped. They couldn't get it to the surface of the top deck of the boat.
Third class is on the ends. You may have known your way out an hour ago, but now you're panicked, you've got all that adrenaline. Maybe you can't go this way because of water. How do you get out?
Well, I mean, I've just spent an hour in here and I wouldn't tell you how to get out.
Exactly.
Does everybody have to do that Celine Dion thing at the front?
Yeah.
King of the world,
If
right?
I had a quarter for every time.
Oh, I you know I have to do it.
Well, yeah, I guess you know what, I'm going to give it to you. You know why?
Why?
When we went to Eloine Pottery, I did the ghost reference. So therefore,
I get a gimme. I get a gimme.
You're going to do the king of the world?
All right, let's do it.
all right.
I'm queen of the world.
She's the queen of the world.
I drive past here all the time and I work next door, but I've never been up here either. It's cool.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. I mean, here's the part that you see when you're driving. And I like the way that Mary and John and all of you at Titanic have kind of rigged it so that when you're coming in from the interstate, you just see the ship.
Right.
You have to get onto this side of it, come, Pigeon Forge and Gatlinburg more that way. As you're heading back to Sevierville, you see, oh, wait, there's an iceberg.
Yeah. So I do have one request.
Okay.
During the 11 o'clock hour, you guys blow your horn. Right around noon?
Noon, yes.
Right around noon, it's loud. It's so loud. And maybe I am in a show. We hear it during our show. It's the funniest thing because it's one of the quietest parts of our show, and it goes throughout the whole building. And it's
I will
so
tell
funny.
you, if it doesn't blow, people call our 800 number and say
wow.
the horn didn't blow or was a minute early.
Can we just blame it on Ma McCoy and say that she ate too much of the soup?
I ate too much soup.
Oh, I happen to know her. Her husband used to work here too.
Yeah, I know her too.
Oh, just wait till I tell her. She'll go with it.
Oh, she will.
Absolutely.
And if you're in certain rooms in the museum, people don't know it's coming. You can hear them scream.
It's loud. It's unreal.
Even after 12 years, I'll jump.
First Class Maid Jodi, while we've got you in the good light, tell me about the Mary Lips.
We always wear our Mary lips. This is the owner of our museum, Mary Kellogg Joslin. She's a TV producer, so lips are the thing. When you're talking, that's where people's going to look is our lips. So we always have Mary lips.
But it also looks authentic to 1912.
Yes, people would, the lips, the makeup,
Yeah. Thank you so much. Thank
You're
you so much for this
welcome.
today. This made me like I want to. As we were leaving, we were walking out. I'm like, she's like, please come back. I'm like, oh, I'm coming back. I'm
And
coming.
before you leave, king of the world,
All right.
All right.
you in front,
All right. How do I, here, hold that.
you in front.
stand?
That's right. Arms out. You put your arms here like you like her. And tell her,
I can tolerate her.
what are you going to tell her? You're the...
I'm the king of the world. I think I did it with one eye closed.
We're going to change that to she's the queen of the world.
All right.
Do it again. No. Take two.
Now wait, are you going to say you're the queen of the world? Tell him.
You're the queen of the world. You're the queen of the world.
Do they have that show in Pigeon Forge?
Not yet.
Well, did we hit everything on your checklist?
We hit everything on my checklist. I got to slide down the things. I got to touch the water. There's an iceberg in the building that's real.
That's a big character in the. You can't just have a ship that sank. You have to have the antagonist.
Right,
You
but-
have to have that to tell the story.
But you wouldn't expect that there's an iceberg in the building.
That's a very good point. I mean, like I said, I'm a little spoiled. I came here on opening day, the very, very first day when Regis Philbin cut the ribbon.
Oh, wow.
And I got to talk to Reg. I mean, so I am deeply in love with this place.
It's amazing.
You know, because of its history and because of the Joslins, who are just so amazing that, you know, they decided to move here. They built one in Branson, then built this one and decided this is where they wanted to live.
Yeah.
And they're a huge part of our community.
And it's so worth the trip, you know, even if you're in Knoxville, it's so worth the trip because it's fun. I mean, we had a blast.
Oh my
gosh. But also, I got misty a couple times.
Can you imagine when it's safe again to do so, to have a Girl Scout or Boy Scout sleepover?
Oh, when she was saying that she was like, this is where I come for the sleepovers, I was like, in the cold room.
Yeah.
I'm like, that's my jam right there.
Oh yeah, so much to see and so much to do at Titanic Museum Attraction. And remember, this is the week that we remember those who are lost and honor those who survived because they had to struggle to do so and they lived on to tell the story of all of the amazing people aboard Titanic. And you've got until June 20th to see the most remarkable artifact.
The violin.
It's fantastic.
Unbelievable. And
now, I already know what's coming in July and it's very cool.
Oh,
yeah.
He's got secrets. I don't even know secrets.
I told you, I love this place.
You can see all of our Seymour Smokies adventures, our website. That's the place.
Yeah, KrishaandFrank.com. Thanks so much for liking, viewing, subscribing, and sharing as we continue each and every week with another Seymour Smokies Adventure Insider Edition.
We'll see you soon here, wherever you are.
You know, I had a crossword puzzle entry and it was singer Dion. And I tried to fit in Demucci. And then I realized that didn't fit. The answer was Celine.
I sang that so well, we may get dinged on YouTube for copyright.